I call this meeting to order at 6 o'clock. Today, August 4th, 2026. Can we get the Pledge of Allegiance? Can we all stand for the Pledge of Allegiance, please? Alex, you want to lead us? Pledge?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. May we get roll call, please?
Chairperson Cynthia Vargas,
Here.
Chair Pro Tem Alex Ramirez,
Here.
Commissioner Gloria Velazquez, Commissioner Adrian Paco,
Here.
and Commissioner Delia Gutierrez.
Here. Thank you. At this moment, the public may participate in person or online via the Zoom link identified with the ID. The meeting number is 852-290-80616 or call 1-669-900-6833 and use the meeting ID number, the 852-2908-0916. If you wish to make either a general public comment or to comment on a specific agenda item, please use the raise hand function when on Zoom, and you'll be allowed 2 minutes for your comments. At this time, we'll move on to the next item, which is public comment. Business from the public not on the agenda. Any member of the public may address the Planning Commission for a period not to exceed 2 minutes on any subject not on the agenda. The Planning Commission will listen to all communications, but may take no action. Any public comment from Zoom?
No comments via Zoom.
Okay. And seeing nobody in person at the chambers, we'll go ahead and say no.
That's all right. Yeah.
Huh?
No
one here. Okay. Therefore, we'll move on to the next item, which is our consent agenda. At this time, this is approving the minutes for our Planning Commission that happened on January 26, 2026. Any modifications, changes, or on the agenda minutes from anyone on the commission?
Just like yesterday.
Negative.
Okay. Seeing none, can I get a motion to approve these minutes?
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes for the last session meeting.
I will second them. Thank you. All in favor, say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Moving on to our regular agenda item. And the next item is adoption of resolution number PC 2026-01, a resolution of the Planning Commission of the City of Gonzales extending by 2 years the approval of conditional use permit PL 2023-02 for the Gonzales Cooler Development Project to August 20th of 2028, for the property located on parcel number 223-032-019.
Great, we are calling up the PowerPoint. It's going to go full screen if we can. Is that full screen?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we'll squint. I'm glad you've got a close one here. All right, well, great. This is the proposal before you is to extend by Tappan Kinnison Brown Planning Division, Economic Development Division. To extend by 2 years the approval of conditional use permit PL 2023-02 for the Gonzales Cooler Development Project. Extend that to August 2020 of 2028. And in the next slide, the project description here is the Planning Commission's actions this evening will extend. Next slide, please. We're going to be rolling through the slides pretty quickly. I wish that was bigger on the screen. I'm sorry. Are you sure there's not a function for that? It doesn't give you the option. All right. Well, The planning commission's action will extend by 2 years the approval of the conditional use permit that was approved in 2023. And that was to construct and operate a fresh vegetable food processing and cooling facility consisting of pretty good size, 313,800 square foot building and ancillary uses on almost 45 acres located on Gloria Road, 31958 Gloria Road. And the next slide shows the vicinity map of that location. It's a little fuzzy. I'm sorry, it's not your eyes, but they're on the southern part of the town. It used to be in the sphere of influence, but when it was approved in 2023 and 2024, we added the 44.8 acres to the city limits and approved the use permit for the construction of the cooler facility inside that 44.88 acres. And the next slide has just a little more detail, if you just recall. So it wasn't immediately adjacent to Highway 101. It was going to be spaced back there a little bit in the location shown on that map. And so I wish I had my laser pointer, but the left to right axis you see in there, that is Gloria Road. And just for be familiarizing ourselves with what that approval was, on the next slide shows several of the exterior elevations. Looks nice and small on this plan here, but that's 39 feet in tall to the top of that parapet wall, with the roof just behind that top wall, a little bit 3 foot under. So if you were on the roof, you'd see this little 3 foot edge. So it's a little larger from the outside. It's got some architectural features that break it up and complement, kind of break up the mass of how large the structure is. The image on the bottom in the middle of the page here is just a representative panel of, or 2 panels side by side. But you'll see in the next image, you'll see how many of those panels kind of are lined up in a typical elevation. So it's really small to see, but these little tiny squares you see right here on the bottom here, it looks like there's probably about 15 or 20. Those are big rig backup to the cooler, load your truck doors. And so if you've driven by the Amazon site in Salinas, you kind of get a feel for these large structures and how they work there. So it's not quite 6 stories like that one, but those are the truck service bays. And just briefly, remember this is just an extension of the existing use permit. There's just to rehash a little bit on the next slide, it just had several names, but it was approved by the city in April of 23. And then once the applicants were able to satisfy conditions from LAFCO, the land area came into the city and became formal city property on August 20. And that's when the use permit started. So that was day one. Even though the city took its action on April 24th of 2023, said, hey, it's approved when it all works out. Well, it all worked out on August 20, that it became part of the city limits. And that's when the clock started counted on a 2-year approval. But here, that third bullet expresses, though, that PG&E could only commit to serving a portion of the power necessary to serve the big project on this new facility. And the applicants had to sideline construction and their operation plans until sufficient power is guaranteed. So one of the things the city's been doing is making sure that we've got a dialogue and we're staying at the table with PG&E and we're monitoring their capital projects to extend more power to the city of Gonzales. And there's a project underway called the Reconductoring Project. So evidently we've got really good power up to Soledad, and there's really good power coming down from Salinas all the way to Chular, and we're the missing middle. And so there's a plan now to extend from Soledad up to the city of Gonzales more power. And basically there's already a cable in the ground and in the wires that gets us our power. And what they're going to do is they call reconductoring it. So they're going to make it basically a real thick wire, real thick conduit that's going to bring many, many megawatts. It takes 9 megawatts to run the cooler, I understand. And that is just way too many to have generators and temporary power things in the parking lot. You just don't do it for that kind of power. So they had to sideline their construction and operation plans until this can be guaranteed. But as in the last bullet there, the city and the applicant want to preserve those earlier entitlements and all the work that was done in the environmental review and the approval of the project, and just have those extend for at least 2 years. So I'm really hoping we don't have to come back again. And I hope that we've got power and we've got construction on the project underway. Jobs and value added, and jobs more than ever now that our winery, anecdotally, I understand the winery here only has like 3 employees right now. It's got a gatekeeper, groundskeeper, and a handy person to make sure the light bulbs are working. We've got to bring commerce back to that site. Anyway, the next slide just speaks a little bit about the environmental review. Because before any decision you make, you need to consider that. And I can just go to the last bullet here. That basically an extension of time is generally considered an administrative activity, and it's not a project. So by you extending the time, it's not authorizing any new development that hasn't been talked about, and it's not any new physical thing or land, earth, water, power, or anything like that that hasn't already been reviewed. And so, and also in the environment, nothing really new has changed that would have you consider additional conditions or mitigation measures with an extension of time. So 2 slides, please, if we go. So I just already kind of explained the analysis there, but we'll just get to the conclusion there. The project represents an opportunity for Gonzales to expand its industrial capacity, continue the support of agriculture. That's been such a significant part of our community. And by allowing for the construction of this, the conditions of approval that have already been thought through by you and the city council, project will support general fund, provide upgrades to Gloria Road, and also address other infrastructure needs in the city, meeting the goals and policies outlined in the general plan. So it's a real good project and a really good investment. And the last page here is reiteration of how we started. Please adopt staff recommends adopting resolution PC 202601 as written right there to extend by 2 years the older conditional use permit, which is PLN 202302. And so the sentence at the bottom, what's really going to change here is we're going to go into the old 202302, and on condition number 4 about time limits, we're just going to add this little sentence at the bottom here that on this date, August 4th, should it be favorable recommendation by the commission to extend the timeline, that'll extend it to 2028. So I didn't need a big new use permit or resolution. We have a resolution recording this action, but it's really just adding a few words to the older use permit. So with that, I rest my presentation. I can answer any questions you might have. Our applicant, architect and planning firm here, David Peartree with Belly.
Peartree Belly Architects.
Peartree Belly Architects is here should you have any questions.
I have a couple.
Hold on, do we need to open this to the public? Is this
The general practice has been after staff is you might invite the applicant's representative to speak a little bit. And you could have questions of either of us. And then when you're ready, you can open it up to the public. It's your choice how you wish to, what the order you want to do.
Yeah, I think we'll go ahead and have architect.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Right into that mic.
My name is David Peartree, Peartree Bailey Architects. I am the applicant and architect representing the project. I think Mr. Kinnison Brown did a great job of giving you kind of the summary of where we're at. I'd be happy to do my best to answer any questions for you.
Yes, I have a few. Are there going to be any road improvements from the bridge to the facility? I've been kind of in the area around there and I see a lot of trucks coming and going, and I'm just wondering if it's going to be widened or any type of improvements there.
I do not believe that the overpass over Highway 101 is included in the conditioned improvements. I believe the improvements are limited to Gloria Road proper on the east side of 101. That's my recollection.
Okay, so a couple of questions for Tavin. How many times can the permit be extended?
What happens though is we need to see, before any decision to extend, the environmental conditions have changed. Is there a new business in the neighborhood that makes all the traffic different? Did we have a flood, an earthquake, or something like that, that we need to do a little more environmental analysis before just saying, continue. But if it's just a time extension, it'll be just like it is here today. And we're just hoping that the applicant and their desire to finance and invest in our community holds that long as well.
Okay, and my last question is, you mentioned that there's a wire between Gonzales and Soledad. Where is that wire located or whatever?
I know it's parallel to the 101, and I think it runs old Highway 101, which is Alta Street. I'm not quite sure. My attention perks up when it's right in my city limits and that close. I haven't looked all that.
So how deep underground is it?
I believe it is. What's interesting though is there's a certain degree of power that the companies can't put underground anymore. It needs to go in overhead wires.
Oh.
But I think they're planning on just replacing an existing cable in place.
It's underground.
Wherever it is, and I think it's not seen by me right now.
So it's right now it's the wire overhead
I believe it's in the ground.
in the ground.
I can get back with everybody and give them an email, but I do not have that answer. Do you?
I actually do not know myself.
Yeah.
I think that would be something for PG&E to answer.
To answer.
Yeah.
I do know that we only have about 1.5 megawatts of power to spare in this community, which could, I understand, power about 500 or 600 new homes, but not as much as the 9 megawatts needed to run this plant alone. And that PG&E is planning on bringing from 23 to 26 megawatts to town with that reconductoring project. So I might have had my math incorrect, but it's enough to power this plant. All the new city developments that we want to have happen.
Okay, and a question for the gentleman here. I have quite a few questions for the gentleman. Since there was a delay of 2 years, I guess, and hopefully that's all, why wasn't wind power considered, or will it be considered?
So the process that we went through with PG&E, unfortunately, is a little bit of an arduous one. So when we were entitling the project with the city of Gonzales and working through LAFCO, we had entered into that process with PG&E as well. And unfortunately, PG&E took a long time to get us information about what the capacity was here in the area. And so we were already down the road in terms of entitlements when we were notified very late in the process that they didn't have enough power to suit our needs. So I'm not sure if I'm answering your question, but that's why, we always do our due diligence, but that's why we were kind of ahead of it with our approval before PG&E recognized that and let us know there was a problem. And the other thing that's important to note, and I might have it in here, but they promised this reconductoring project, I believe, was supposed to have been done very close to when, we could have started construction, I think 2 years ago now. And that date just keeps getting pushed out. So the latest we've heard is maybe 2027. So unfortunately, we have no control over that, but that deadline keeps moving for us.
That's why we're trying to meet quarterly to keep them at the table. Like you keep on it. It's important to us.
Yeah, May 2027 is the latest that I've heard. They originally promised that, I should not use the word promise. They originally indicated that they would provide us the necessary power at some point in 2025, and they wouldn't commit to a specific date in 2025. Now, according to our records, they're targeting May 2027 to have capacity.
Okay. Alex, do you have anything?
Second to last, if you would.
Delia?
I have no questions.
Question? Adrian?
I think you answered the things I was, it's about that date. So, and when that 27 does happen, that's when your project gets started, essentially?
Yeah, well, my client would have to have, we've been on hold for a couple of years now. So I would assume that my client would be in a position where they have to reevaluate where everything stands in terms of financing and operations. And also important to note that we do not yet have a building permit. So we are fully entitled with this commission, but we went into a holding pattern because of PG&E prior to securing building permits. So if the decision by my client was to move forward, then we would then re-engage in the design and engineering and work with the city of Gonzales to secure building permits, which is not necessarily a very short process either. That could be 12 months, it could be 16 months, it could be 18 months before construction would be ready. So we would still have to do all of that work with your building department to secure building permits.
Thank you.
Yep.
Alex?
I have questions. First, let me start off by apologizing again once more
No
for
problem.
not showing up the last meeting. Second of all, I mean, I see this as a good thing because it will bring jobs here, but I do have a couple of questions regarding road widening in that area, and that is, I'm asking this to avoid any kind of future cost to local Gonzales taxpayers, something that might happen around that area to widen it out. I think there's a house in that corner somewhere. And
Yes.
so with semi trucks, I don't know if it's going to be wide enough for that.
Yeah, so I believe Mr. Rianda, who is the property owner that this development would be on, and I apologize, it has been a couple of years since I was deeply involved in this, but there were discussions with the owner of the property that you have mentioned, and during our due diligence process, there was no issue from that landowner. There are currently trucks that traverse Gloria Road up and down, I believe, to serve Missionero, or what used to be Missionero. I'm not sure if they're still called Missionero vegetables up to the east. So there is a precedent for truck traffic along Gloria. Now, obviously, we'll be increasing that truck traffic. And my recollection, and I can do some additional research, but my recollection is that Gloria, between the location of the house that you just discussed, basically right up against the east side of Highway 101 to, I believe, the end of the subject property will be widened. Turn lanes will be added to account for all that semi-truck flow turning into and out of the proposed project.
Okay.
I'm sorry. So that's part of that is part of the development. That's those improvements are part of the project.
Okay. Part two, will that conflict with the housing development that is planning to go in further up the road?
No, it's absolutely complementary. So with a unified design already known for the widening of Gloria, this project would be responsible for the, what is it, 1,000 feet, whatever the
It's
front
about 900 something feet.
About the 1,000 feet in front of its property, having wide and turning lanes and those motions. And then the the housing development would also do the same up there in front of it.
Okay,
And we were in touch with that developer through the design and there was coordination about,
Jackson family properties.
yeah, those improvements.
okay. And then, as far as upkeeping a wider road, would you guys be, contributing? I wasn't here for the first part of it, and I'm only asking because, as far as like upkeeping the roads, in that area once the business is open.
It may not be for me to say, Mr. Kinnison Brown, but my understanding from the conditions of approval is that there is a responsibility by the applicant, my client, to assist in the development of the, right, basically redoing the road and widening the road. I believe then, once that work is done, then it becomes the property and the ward of the city of Gonzales.
Becomes public property, we're responsible for trash and gutters and maintenance like that.
Okay,
But if they want to pick up trash now and then, we're not going to stop them. That's nice.
okay.
Okay, just for clarification, the improvements will be from the house over to where the development will be? Or just in front of the development?
I believe, yeah, I believe, well, certainly at a minimum, it's the entire frontage of the subject property. I would need to go back and look. I believe is also some work that's contemplated basically at the intersection of 101 and Gloria.
Okay. I think the map illustrates that.
Yep. Yes, it's coming, right. Yeah, back to the one that,
That one.
that one's good. So you see the imposed square. So this would be where the financial improvements occur. There we go. This is a buffer area between the agricultural and industrial and with respect to the housing fund. The housing bill, its responsibility as well.
I believe it will be all the way, this triangle is currently a Rienda holding. And so that has been coordinated with the Jackson property development. So my understanding is
property owner
here, yes. And some, except for this piece, I think some of
this
this
is down that.
yeah. So my understanding, and again, I can verify, my understanding is our area of improvement is here, either to here or here. I believe it's to here.
So,
And if this property, which is owned commercial develops, we'll get that, we'll get those improvements as well. But currently on the trucks that go into Johnson Canyon, we're supposed to avoid Fifth Street, we're supposed to use Gloria.
so for that specific area, is it gonna be wider? Cause I'm thinking congestion from the new housing, in addition to the trucks, and then, will there be enough space to create like, you know, 2 lanes on each
If
side?
the trucks are slow getting off of Gloria, road that's gonna be dedicated left turn and pocket for them so that vehicles can still pass on the right side.
As part of our CEQA analysis, traffic studies were done for our piece. I don't want to speak to the Jackson, but I'm assuming traffic studies were done as well. And the road widening was designed based on those studies of what the increase in traffic.
And in fact, the Jackson, EIR for the Puente Del Monte specific plan by Jackson Properties is in progress right now with traffic reports, of which will be the context of not just things that are built, but things that are approved and anticipated, how all those things go together.
And that's why I'm asking, and I don't want to deter you or anything. I'm just trying to blend the
We
two.
haven't missed
So, okay.
fair share assignment to each with the eye on. We don't want to impede any of the truck traffic or the residential traffic that's coming all the way through, going down the line.
Right.
If they don't get past here, what are they gonna do? They're gonna hit this street,
Mhm. So,
right?
yep.
You don't want that. This is good, it's better than a laser pointer.
Yeah.
Through the chair.
I think that is the only question that I have.
Okay.
Or the only questions.
Okay, I honestly don't have any questions. I just wondering, from what I understand, Rihanna's gonna own the cooler, right? But it's gonna be possibly leased or operated by another company? Is that originally, I believe that was the original thought?
Yeah, I'm not necessarily privy to what the operational or business arrangements are. As the architect, I'm hired to assist in the entitlement and design process. So I probably would be out of place in answering that question. I'm not exactly sure.
Okay. But no, I think I'm fine with the presentation. Therefore, at this moment, we'll go ahead and, thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
We'll go ahead and move over to public comment. I will open the public hearing at 6:32. Anyone from the public that would like to make a comment, either on Zoom, obviously there's nobody here, so there's no one here. Do you have anyone on Zoom that might want to?
There's no one on Zoom.
Okay, perfect. Then I will go ahead and close it at 6:32. And at this moment, I will entertain a motion to approve resolution, or actually planning, yes, resolution 2026-01.
Before we do that, is there alternate ways to come up with money to upkeep that road in the future so it doesn't become an issue ahead of time? Since once it's built, it becomes property of the city of Gonzales, right? Is that paid through with their property taxes, or how is that upkeep held?
It's a blend of both. If I could, is this on? Planning divisions and cities have learned the hard way over time that if they haven't thought ahead about trucks pounding pounding asphalt, and that those roads need to be maintained and paved more frequently than other roads that just have cars, or they need to be designed to a degree that are just tougher. We've learned that. And so there's programs now built in with like a use permit saying you will enter into a pavement management program. And it is either done by payment of extra monies, and then the city says, hey, I'm going to get the crews out. We're going to do that street, and that section in front of the so-and-so plant. And as the cities do, is they'll take money that's been contributed through mitigation measures and additional monies that we've tied directly to truck traffic, because we can't ask for more than their cause and effect.
Right.
Okay, but we can also, go with grants or normal money that's just budgeted in a city's budget for, like the cities normally would do something like, we have 150 miles of roads in the town, and we want to repave and refresh 7% of those every year. So let's have enough money to pave and refresh 7% of those roads. And over time, it's almost like the Golden Gate Bridge. At one point you get to the end and you start back again and paint at that side. So we're getting more money for those things these days. And I think the way the conditions of approval are written is we'll have, we can get those conventions. So I think we're going to be covered with that without, that's part of the whole thing here, is not to have a public burden, either taxes or an inconvenience to the general public for the private gain or things like that. But also we're going to win too if there's jobs here and there's
Overall, the streets, just to, Tevin, just to clarify, overall, the streets, although they belong to the city, we have assessments, we have also tax revenue that we receive to maintain those roads.
Well said.
So,
Sometimes planners have a hard time saying like yes or no. We get these big, long things going. Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Sorry for the interruption.
we can go ahead and move to adopt this resolution. Do I entertain a motion?
I motion that we approve resolution number PC 2062901, which is approving the conditional use permit PL 202302 for another 2 years.
And second, do I have a second?
Second it.
Delia, thank you. And all those in favor?
Aye.
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 Okay, motion passed.
Thank you very much. The second was from
Adrian. Oh, Delia, I'm sorry. Delia.
Delia. Aha.
Okay.
That's on the agenda.
Now we'll move on to business from the Planning Commission.
Thank you, Mr. Pearcher.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir.
Anyone from the Planning Commission to have anything or would like to say anything, you'd like to share?
I just wanted to ask if we have any updates as far as when the subdivision is going to go to LAFCO?
Yes, we do.
The item to go to LAFCO?
Just Friday, we received another response letter to our application package. So we put our initial application package in, and we got a 38-page response letter of things we still needed to work on and do, which was basically 4 items. I'm going to give you a long answer here. And we had to work on those items it took us about 2 months of a lot of people and a lot of information to talk to and a lot of people to talk to. And then we submitted that response, which was about 40 pages as well. After 29 days, which was Friday, we got our next letter back from LAFCO. They have 30 days, so they took 29. We got their letter, and it's a much smaller letter, and they've said we've very much satisfied 2 of the 4 items that they were looking for. And so they said you need to address these 2 items before your application is complete. And once it's complete, then they'll start to forecast commission hearing dates. But those 2 items were you must go to the Board of Supervisors with the tax sharing agreement, because currently that land, the taxes go to the county. And when it becomes city land, those taxes will come to the city in some regard. We have to pay for our police force, not their sheriff. We have to pay for our streets, not county lands, those kind of things. Just to be brief here, our tax sharing agreement goes before the Board of Supervisors on Tuesday, August 11th, 1 week from today. And there's 2 resolutions needed for a tax sharing agreement. One from the Board of Supervisors saying we agree to this formula. And then the next resolution is by the City Council, which says we agree to this formula. We've got that scheduled for the 18th of August. Excuse me, the 17th, which is the Monday of August. All right. So by that Monday, I can have both resolutions in hand at the end of the day, or certainly by Tuesday, and I could drive those to LAFCO, and we'll have 3 of those completeness items taken care of. So we're getting dates now. We're talking to folks, and everybody's engaged. And the 4th one is regarding agriculture and the interpretation of LAFCO policy for mitigation, and our interpretation of LAFCO policy for mitigation. We think we've got a solid hand, but we're going to have, right now it's on the books that we have a hearing on the agricultural piece itself on August 24th.
Okay.
Well, not the whole project, but let's talk about this agriculture thing. And we're going to make our case that we think we're in good standing to the commissioners themselves. All right. it is our hopes that we'll be successful with that, making a good case, because I think we're strong. And then at that point, if our application is deemed complete, then they will give us a certificate of filing saying you have officially filed a complete application with LAFCO. Here's your commission hearing date. And we want that to be as soon as they can do it, which might be the next month in September or immediately thereafter here in fall. So we're cooking on this thing right now and needing to get information together to be ready to field questions that might come up to either on the 11th or the 24th, and then be ready. So this is in gear, and I don't quite know which date I'm going to go. Hey, all 400 people that are in your interest in housing list, let's go. We're going to a public hearing, and I would like to see your faces and speak in front of them. Speak in favor of the project.
Once the application is submitted and it's officially accepted, how much time do they allow? Is it 30 days or 90 days for the public hearing? Or what's the
Once that's going, it's in the statute for LAFCO, and I think it's about 90 days. I'm
90
not sure.
days?
It might be shorter than that.
Okay.
And that's where they've had kind of a powerful strength in saying they want everything in order. And that's what these, years and years of activity have been, and making sure that every last thing is done so that once it's complete, all the math is there on the table and they just kind of explain it. And so it's really close. I don't want to jinx anything, but it's darn close. So we're working hard on it. The Pembroke Development Group had a pre-meeting this morning. City staff had a pre-meeting this morning, and then all of us met on Zoom at 1:30 to talk about each of these items and bring the right information, the right story, the right advocacy, and who we need to talk to just get things done and understood.
Cool.
So thank you very much for your question, and pretty excited about it. So it might be that really we've got construction happening and power here right about the time that things need to, be built and occupied. And as I'd like to kid Soledad, it's happening in Gonzales. Right?
Oh.
My fun little poke.
Tevin, you mentioned a list of interested residents. Do we have a list?
Yeah, it's right about 400 persons right now.
400 interested folks to the housing?
Yeah,
Wow, that's great.
Yeah. And interested parties include realty companies and mortgage brokers. We have a new business just here, actually connected to City Hall right here on Center Street. A lady that is willing to do another financial literacy training class for the public, so that folks know how to keep their credit score and meet before applying for a home.
That's important.
So excited about a home purchase that they go out and buy all their appliances. Kind of hurts their credit score. Now this is
Or a new car or anything like that, furniture.
Adrian, do you have anything?
Just regarding that PG&E dilemma, PG&E, there's not a way to hold them accountable. They can just kind of say 25 and now we're on to 27.
It's like trying to keep a cat in your yard. It's like, hey. The short answer for what Mr. David Peartree could have said was he started darn early with his conversation with PG&E before he even really had a semblance of a whole package with us, because we knew about the delay. We knew this was, hey guys, you need to know you have power here. We're going to be doing this project. So he's had his eye on, I guess he's seen it keep moving down. Yeah. So
But that delay.
the best we can do is keep communication open, that we let them know that we're serious about it and that development is dependent upon it. And really it's even in their self-interest because this will entitle new users and new ratepayers
Right.
as well, which would be using, buying their electricity.
Mhm.
So.
So I
Victoria,
have-
do you have anything else? Alex? I don't have anything.
You want to move on to the business?
Business from our-
Development
yes.
Director?
Yes, sir.
Not much. We entered the surplus land act process to try to sell some properties that the city has, and you have to defer through the state and
Mhm.
offer them first to affordable home builders. So the city is an owner of the 1 acre piece on Alta that called the Gingerbread House, the Marchetti House. It was purchased about 4 years ago, just as I got here. So that affordable for senior housing, and that just hasn't materialized because a lot of the federal monies have dried up and we haven't had a housing project there. We've also got some other properties that are idle and not being used, and we're engaged in getting product appraisals. We're going to see if affordable housing project can be built on one or two of those properties, and the sale price would be. It's just some small business that's happening. And the other one that's happening here is Alejandrina and I have 2 interns working for the Community Development Department. One in capacity for general health across all departments that we have, planning and business license and building department, economic development, and wearing all those hats. But one of the interns is also kind of a specialist in film and economic development. And we've got a program now called Gonzalez Business Spotlight. And basically, we're going out and doing interviews with several firms here, and we're getting about 5 or 10 minutes on video, and we're cutting it down to 1 minute or a minute and a half, presenting it as a Gonzalez Business Spotlight. We're putting it on our social media and our webpage, and also handing that disc free to the applicant so that they can put it on their LinkedIn or their Facebook, their Instagram, and other things and distribute that. And we have a couple of those working right now. We're releasing about 1 a week. We started with an industrial property, an industrial business down here off of River Road called the Healthy Trailer. And what they do is these rigs that ship produce all over the county. Sometimes that stuff rots and, you know, the leaves fall into the cracks and everything, or there's other stuff in the truck, and they've got to be certified clean. They don't have to be certified clean, but this firm will certify that it's clean in the trailer rig. They've got this mechanism that'll go into the trailer, all 65 feet of it, and using infrared and water and different things like that, it will clean this thing. It's got computers on it with infrared cameras so they can read the germs and read what's been cleaned. And anyway, when they're done and it's done the whole process, they get a certificate that they're clean. And we're hoping they can use that to go to the front of the line at whatever packing house they go to, so that that packing house has confidence that that trailer is clean. Because sometimes it's just a person out there on the back road with a pressure washer, or even not even doing it. You can't just approve it's good. So that's a great business that serves the truck drivers and also allows for food safety. Our second one was a very different genre, which is, have you guys seen had a drink here at a More Day Cafe? Our newest coffee shop, actually Carlitos and the Palace in the same building. Delicious. I already have a regular thing myself. It's pretty good. Fresh, the peaches in it, and got some good energy without keeping me up at night, which is nice. But so we get the real personal flavor of you know, a young woman who was bold enough to leave her good county job and start a coffee business here, and it's delicious. And then we have we have a couple other. What's number 3?
The restaurant.
Yeah, with a new restaurant also starting right there on 3rd Street. And what do you do and how do you make it? And tell, what's your specialty?
Hmm.
So we do the restaurant. And we also might do the insurance agent. Actually, I don't want to just call it an insurance agency, but connected to City Hall. She does about 5 things. She's also notary and a realtor, insurance, as well as helping with immigration and things like that. She's proud that she does not do taxes. But anyway, getting part of the business spotlight is, don't necessarily drive out of town to go to the facilities. We've got these services here. Did you know about these services? We're trying to hit different spectrum, right? Between truck drivers, between coffee, between a restaurant for food, between these personal business services you might need. So we're doing that, and we're really happy about it. Well, that's happening.
What's the name of the restaurant that's on Third Street?
La Bendición. Question, how would the sign over on the freeway, how is that going with advertising?
It's going very,
I've seen a few different ones going down the road, but I just don't know how many advertisers we have.
he's paying his rent on time too. So it's, I've since learned, I met with the sign company gentleman today, in fact. We're trying to, a couple other things. He's let me know that, while he was interested in putting a sign in some of the other cities, that, Gonzales is so far ahead that we already have one.
Mhm.
He's really doing well. He's not even out of the starting gun. Some of the other cities are having some difficulties. Just like, is there a commercial property for the sign to happen, or is there a historic resource in the way, or does Caltrans have a objection or whatever? So it might be the only beautiful advertising sign for a while. It's good. The advertising is going to be very lucrative.
Very good.
Which we get a base rent, and then when advertising years are really good, we get an extra check. And if you haven't seen already, we have a presence on the sign every rotation. We are on the sign.
Mhm.
City. There's 8 advertisements going on in a given day, and they rotate 8 seconds. For a 64-second cycle. We, as a municipality, have one of those slots for 8 seconds.
What about our businesses in town?
They're welcome to buy.
No, do we have any advertising?
Yeah. Who's the one that just took it yard? Yeah, Healthy Trailer, right?
Oh.
And I think they might have been buoyed by the confidence of the video.
Mhm.
Now they're advertising out there as well. Get off the freeway, it's here.
Mhm.
So how about that? That's economic development,
Yeah.
building on itself.
That's all I have.
Anything else, Heather? No? Okay, at this time, I will entertain a motion to adjourn the meeting at 6:54.
I move that we adjourn our meeting at, 6:54?
Second?
Second.
Oh,
Sorry.
If that failed for a second, what are we gonna do? Stay on?
I'll go with Adrian. Meeting adjourned. Thank you. Oh, actually, no, we did not vote. Can I get an aye for everybody that says yes?
Aye.
There you go.
Aye.
All right, meeting adjourned now.